I hate logging into websites. Every part of it, from typing in my unnaturally long email address that I'll probably have until I die because who changes their email address, to trying to remember whatever number or punctuation I stuck onto the end of the same password I've used for everything since middle school. I never intended to remember it because all I wanted to do was make an account so I could read the first 3 paragraphs of a think piece on The Atlantic but get overwhelmed and watch compilations of old Vines on YouTube instead. I hate having to remember usernames. What even is the point of a username? We're not on AIM anymore. I will happily type out my 28-character email address to save myself the indignity of logging into Wells Fargo with the username TheCoasterGuy13. I was really into roller coasters when I was 13. And of course, resetting my password is a hilarious song and dance. The website and I are just tacitly agreeing that it isn't really about the security of the password, but how willing I am to wait for the reset link in my email. If I have one failed login attempt, I'll reset it. I have the patience of a dad on the last day of a week-long trip to Walt Disney World in August. And then, after I've reset the password, do I get to enjoy the glorious content I've come here for? No. I have to log in again. As, I don't know, a test of my short-term memory or something. You know it's me, Steam. Are you worried someone's going to break into my account and buy a bunch of games that I won't play? Check and mate me, amigo. I already do that. But at this point, I bet you're saying, Spencer, why don't you just let your browser save your passwords? And I'd say, that's a great point. Except when there's a big old dry crouton of a time crunch and I need to get into a website right now, like, say, to retrieve a boarding pass, when there's a line of angry dads just trying to get out of Orlando behind me, that's when I get the little red letters. The letters that are the same color as my rage, saying that the password is incorrect. How could that be? How could you not know? Most of the time you came up with it yourself, Chrome. That's part of the agreement that we made, that you're allowed to try to sell me things in exchange for my one remaining brain cell not being saddled with the responsibility of remembering how to get into TurboTax once a year. Now look, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but I've been on the internet for over 20 years. And with so many accounts spread over so many websites, at this point I am willing to just surrender the rest of my identity so I never have to log into something ever again. I would give my DNA, the very thing that makes this fleshy Gundam that my mind drives around, like that one episode of Pinky and the Brain where the brain goes on Jeopardy, I would happily hand all of that over to somebody, so the goddamn Betty Crocker website could just scan my eyeballs so I could finally print out that recipe for making brownies in a coffee mug. And you know what that tastes like? It tastes like the normalization of privacy as a commodity. And shame. And it's delicious.